soybean project in Kenya is a response to the food crisis that was experienced in much of the eastern part of Africa. There are periodically needs for having highly nutritious food distributed to people who are suffering from famine, and also malnutrition is very common in Kenya, lack of protein, shortage of protein. So we think that soybean can bring a good solution and a cheap solution to many of these problems.
I started working with soybean out of an interest in helping out with my community. They were malnourished and resource limited. And I realized soybean is one crop that has good nutrition, but also with little land resource, they can harvest a great volume. And so I got interested and went out researching on what we can do with it regarding value-added processing.
The strategy that we have adopted in this project is to work on the complete value chain, from the access to inputs for growing soybean, to agronomic practices, to harvest and storage and handling and processing and marketing, in order to build a strong supply chain for soybean that will motivate farmers to grow soybean, but also a consumer will have access to nutritious food at affordable prices.
When it comes to soybean, it was very easy, very easy to produce, and it did not require more labor. The crop was maturing very fast, 3 months, and it had matured. And also, soybean is a food crop. So many farmers have now started discarding growing tobacco, and they are moving in to the option of growing soybean. After producing this soybean, we had a headache of getting market for this crop. We moved around to get actually the industries who are utilizing soybean. But their price was a bit low and farmers were not happy. So we are very grateful that UNIDO has now come in, bringing in the processing machines.
In addition to the financial support from Japan, we are also getting technical support from Japan. We've been able to access the expertise of Japanese scientists who have had many years of experience working with soybean and who are coming to Africa to transfer their knowledge on the use of soybean as food.
そのきな粉を作るために3つの3 types of machine or equipment これを日本から持ってきて、で実際にそれを稼働させて、皆さんに皆さんということは今のところはキリ類というのがカウンターパートになっていますけれども、そのカウンターパートのキリ類の方々にまず覚えてもらって、そしてそれをベースにして、皆さんがそういう機会を用いながら、あるいはこのMigoriのコミュニティの方々がそういうことを学んで。
The cooperation between Kiridi, the Ministry of Industrialization, through UNIDO and the Japanese government in particular comes in handy to address the issues of manufacturing value addition on the basis of soybean, a very important emerging crop in this country, and yet an important crop in terms of addressing the twin issues of malnutrition and hunger.
This project is in its first phase, first year, inception year. In that period, we have succeeded in establishing 3 processing sites, one in Kisumu, one in Migori, and one in Bungoma. The one in Kisumu will be producing soy milk, and the one in Migori and the one in Bungoma will be producing soybean flour. The soybean flour will be mixed with maize flour to produce a porridge mix that is highly nutritious. So the 3 plants have now been inaugurated and they are all operational. And we are making arrangements with humanitarian organizations. They will be taking this food to go and distribute to the vulnerable communities. In the second phase, we will be building on this first phase by expanding the processing capacity, having more processing centers, but more importantly, building the value chain, increasing the production of soybean, increasing the distribution capacity. I hope that in the long term, that production of soybean is going to increase significantly in Kenya from the current 2,000 to 5,000 tons per year to maybe 100,000 tons per year. And we are hoping that the model that will have been developed in Kenya for the promotion of the soybean sector can also be applied in other countries of East Africa, but everywhere, West Africa, Central Africa, where the soils can support the cultivation of soybean and where the needs for highly nutritious food is there.